Strawberries, a cold climate specialist that seems to get beaten down every winter. A necessary struggle, though, to stimulate the following year's growth and hopefully the explosion of a big berry bounty. While that winter die-off is dramatic, it's simply an annual thing that we strawberry growers expect to happen every year. It's not even an issue, as cold dormancy is actually a requirement for these plants. It's this winter cool down that gives our strawberry plants the seasonal clues through a process known as vernalization that it needs to induce the flowering process for the coming spring. Which brings us to where we are right now. Plants exploding with growth, possibly even flowers, on the precipice of another great season. So today, let me share with you my 5 most important strawberry spring tips to ensure that we get the most out of these guys come harvest time, which incidentally is right around the corner. Strawberry plants, even these seedlings from last year, don't need much from us for the day-to-day. But even though they are a perennial, they're on a 5 or so year rotation until the plants become spent and need replacing. On top of that, this is a crop that takes a while to get going, and it's not uncommon for those first year plantings to not give much, if any, harvest at all. Therefore, the tips here today are more geared towards established strawberry plants and patches, ones that are already in their second year of growth. One more thing to note here. Ultra cold climate growers that bury their strawberry plants under several layers of mulch should have removed that winter protection on their last spring frost date. This brings those gardeners in line with everyone else, and we're now all on the same page. We can finally get started with our spring strawberry tasks. The first of which is pruning. Strawberry plants may be perennial, but their foliage is not. And last year's leaves tend to clump and smother new growth as well as harbor pests and disease. Let's make sure to clean all that stuff up early before the new foliage growth makes it impossible. Next, the removal of all that excess, plus the time of year, is going to reveal some unwanted guests. That's right, weeds. Strawberry plants absolutely hate competition, and unfortunately, they're not very good at getting rid of it themselves. So, it's up to us to eliminate them. Early spring is the absolute best time to remove any weeds and colonizing plants from your strawberry patch. It's just one of those things we have to do to ensure that our strawberry plants don't compete for space, water, or nutrients. Look at it this way. Every competing weed that you pull up is going to mean more berries for you this summer. And after we get rid of all those weeds, we'll be able to look at the mother plants much more clearly to see if we need to do the next task, which is thinning. You see, strawberry patches have these 5-year rotations of growth cycles, not because of the longevity of those mother plants. The patches eventually expire because they multiply from the crown so readily that they actually overpopulate and start to compete with themselves. To stop this overproliferation, remove the older strawberry crowns to give the younger ones more room to grow and reach their full potential. This one can really affect your harvest for that year, as well as the longevity of the patch moving forward. If you don't take care of this issue every year, or at least every 2 years, you might find that your strawberry patches don't even make it to the 5-year average. And in those cases, you'll be digging up your strawberry plants, breaking them apart, and starting all over again much sooner than you have to. Same goes for those runners as well. Now, if you've never heard the term, or you have but you don't quite know what strawberry runners are, they're simply just the vegetative offshoots of the main mother plant. Other than seeds, which is a crapshoot at best, this is the strawberry plant's main way of reproducing itself. However, if you're not expanding your strawberry patch or you're not collecting the runners to make new plants, these guys are a complete drain on the mother plant for no good reason. Clip them off as soon as you see them and enjoy better harvests. Moving on, strawberries, like a lot of other plants, absolutely hate to be overwatered. And in the wet days of late winter and early spring, this can mean not giving any supplemental water to your strawberry plants at all. I know gardeners, especially new ones, love to water because it makes them feel like they're doing something. But in the world of cultivated plants, moisture is one of those parameters where there can definitely be too much of a good thing. The trick with strawberries, though, is that they're extremely shallow rooted. So when the hot, dry weather finally does come, they're always at risk of drying out, especially in well-drained soils and especially in containers. Mulch can help with this on the evaporation side of things, but as that weather warms, really watch those moisture levels. Another way to look at this, though, is being shallow rooted kind of helps us because we can easily test the moisture level in the top layers of soil to see how we're doing. Just stick a finger in or brush some of that mulch aside to see if they need more water. Easy stuff. Now, with strawberries, as it is for any other crop we grow, there's simply no universal watering schedule. Variances in soil, weather, climate, and a million other factors make this impossible. So, the best success you'll have with watering your strawberries comes down to pure observation. So after all that, your strawberry plants are looking great and well on their way to another epic season, which brings us to our final spring task. And that's fertilizing. Maybe. And the reason that I say maybe is that most crops are not fertilized just prior to a harvest. In the case of June-bearing varieties of strawberries, they come on super fast after winter, so we don't fertilize them in the spring, certainly not before that harvest. These types get fed and their soil amended in the late stages of summer and early fall, after all the fruit has been picked. I know it's hard to refrain, just like with the watering, and you may think that the plants need it, but they don't. Resist, or you'll really affect the berries and that harvest in a negative way. With the everbearing types, it's a little bit different. They get fed twice. Once, just like the June-bearing at the end of summer after all that harvest, but they also get fed in the spring. Let me explain. Everbearing strawberries are known as continual producers, and they'll keep giving you berries as long as the weather allows or until they run out of resources. So, to continually produce those epic berries all the way from spring to fall, everbearing strawberries are gonna need a spring feeding. Earlier the better, right around your last spring frost date. For the actual blend, an organic, all-purpose, liquid balanced fertilizer works the best. Ensure that your NPK, or nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium ratio is all of equal or similar values. Excess nitrogen, that first number on the label, can really make the foliage explode with growth, but it does it at the expense of berry production. So, at this stage of the game, go balanced or don't fertilize at all. All in all, not a lot to do with your strawberries on the day-to-day, and most of it is just knowing its habit and how it grows. Still, some pretty important spring tips, so let's recap to make sure we got them all. For what effort they take to grow, strawberries have to be one of the most prolific berries out there. What little we have to do, though, can have a big effect on the harvest we expect to get. Hopefully the 5 tips we covered here today propel your strawberry plants to new heights this summer. I gotta plant these guys up if they're gonna do anything. So, as always guys, happy growing, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey, thanks so much for watching guys. Truly, this channel wouldn't exist without passionate gardeners like you. For even more info-packed videos like this, check out this playlist of garden quickies here. And for those of you that are interested, my online course, Vegetable Gardening Basics, is live and ready for enrollment. As always, happy growing, and I'll see you in the next one.